You're listening to Speaking Stellar Girl with Teri Tkachuk, an interview series that inspires women to live their most stellar life. Teri is the co-founder of the Stellar Girl movement, and she is sitting down with women all over the world to hear about the key moments in their lives and how they live boldly, compassionately, and ultimately became a stellar girl.
Welcome to Speaking Stellar Girl. I'm your host, Teri Tkachuk, and I am thrilled to have Francelle Daly joining me today. Francelle is the founder and CEO of LoveCraftBeauty that celebrates the art of personal style and self-care. She is one of the leading fashion creatives that is shaping the global fashion narrative through her work as a celebrity and editorial makeup artist. I can't wait to dive in on all things Francelle. Welcome to Speaking Stellar Girl.
Thank you for having me. Hi,
guys. Oh, yay. I'm so glad that we met. Janine introduced us, Janine Lobo, of the original founder of Stila. Mm-hmm. And so how did you guys know each other?
So Janine and I have been friends. I actually, back in the day, used to work. I was a Stila girl. I used to work for her brand. I got my job in New Orleans, and I thought it was like, the bee's knees. It's like I worked at Saks Fifth Avenue. I was doing retail. It was so much fun, and I just wanted to further my career opportunities, and I moved to Los Angeles, and I was 18 years old when I did that. Wow. So I always credit Janine for giving me the business sense. It was my only retail job in cosmetics. And, before I started doing editorial and celebrity makeups. And for me, it's a lot of fun to, have friends in the industry and grow with them. And it's just amazing that we're friends because she's such, a mentor for me and a really good friend of mine.
She's extremely inspirational and willing to help and celebrate and champion all women. And I love that she introduced us, and so I'm so lucky today as well. So I want to talk about, before we get into the editorial and yours and the celebrity makeup artistry that you create on so many amazing subjects for the most accomplished print and magazines and movies that there are. How did you create and why did you create your own beauty line, LoveCraftBeauty?
So the brand started about 4 years ago, and I just feel it was at a point in my career that I worked for a lot of makeup brands, and it's something that I had on my list. And, it all started very organically. And for me, because I work with so many other makeup brands as a makeup artist doing their advertising, I just wanted to make sure that it was a different type of brand and something that really felt true to my heart. And I love theatrical makeup. I love extreme beauty. As the beauty space continues to grow, you see a lot of the extreme beauty movements coming from, all sources from the globe, from London to Belgium to Hungary. And it's a space, LoveCraftBeauty is a safe space for people to practice theatrical beauty. And for us, how it all started, like my husband has a clothing brand. It's called Bird of Prey. It's very on brand. He actually does all of my packaging and all of the creative sources of LoveCraftBeauty. And I based it on his business model. He was a one-man band at the time, and it was all in-house. So that became something for me. I'm like, if he can do that with clothing, why can't I do that with makeup? Okay. And as we were speaking before, it's like when you create a product, which is, we were talking about that your product, it takes a long time. You can have one lab and then you go into product development and you can go to another lab, and it's quite a needle in the haystack in production to make that final product and have that aha moment when you open up a packaging. And slowly but surely, we've been getting there, and the brand has become a lot bigger. We are growing exponentially, which is very exciting. Mm-hmm. And, I think quarantine really changed everything because I had my own makeup career and then I didn't, meaning that once quarantine with all of us in the world, we had to stop and really think about like what is true to our hearts and what really matters. And without models coming on to our photo studios, or, we have a small photo studio ourselves at LoveCraftBeauty. We had to do it on ourselves. And my business partner, Andrew D'Angelo, and I look very similar. He's one of my closest friends. We create all the product together. He's also a professional makeup artist. And we just dived in and started doing it on ourselves, and which has kind of become a viral thing. You'll see it come to life a lot more as, our TikTok grows and our audience grows. And it's just something now more than ever, it's kind of come full circle.
It's incredible. The Instagram LoveCraftBeauty is beautiful. And like you were saying, the theatrical beauty. So it's you and your partner in most of the video.
So Andrew and I have been friends for over 20 years. He's also a very theatrical makeup artist and an artist in his own right. And what we bring together is kind of the spirit of the brand. We love being able to, we do look alike. We have dark hair, and we have, we're all very good friends, and, the LoveCraftBeauty family. And for us, it just became a thing where people look at it and they're like, how long did that take? Yeah. Some of these makeups and transformations can take upwards to 7 hours. Wow. It's not something that comes lightly. And it's, I always say with any type of art that you do, that word is kind of funny in its own right, but, it is very emotional, being in a bald cap for 8 hours and until you get that shot is a lot. And it's very exciting once you click the picture, because we take all of our pictures as well. We don't have a photographer. We do it all ourselves. Okay. And that's a thing. It's not that we don't want to, it's something that we love to do. And creating the image ourselves and knowing when we got the shot. And that's something that grew over quarantine, and now it's a thing. So it's awesome. A really fun thing to be able to relate to our community and to be there for them, and for people to see us and be like, you guys are so cool. I don't know how you're doing all of it, but you're doing it. And, the outreach of our community is amazing. And that's what makes me really happy.
That's super stellar. I mean, you talked about, the theatrics of your brand and, and your marketing and all of your packaging and, going back to the brand and the packaging, you have some amazing names of different colors that you name your lipstick line. For example, like there's Demetria, is it Drusilla? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Drusilla, Constantina, of course, Francelle, and then Fausta. And so exactly. Where did you get these names from? How did you, well, obviously yours, but I mean, what was the inspiration behind naming this line? That's
a great question. That's something that no one's ever asked me before, and I'm really happy to explain. So I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and there's always that kind of underlining mystical atmosphere of New Orleans, and a lot of the names were relatives of mine, or throughout the different generations in time. Fausta is a word that means immortal. And for us, we're not a Halloween brand or a vampire brand, but we love all things, on the dark side. It's, the brand itself, love yourself, love your craft, and love your beauty. We like to think of things that inspire us. And that name just stood out to me for some reason. Like I really wanted to do a nude that works on all skin tones. And Fausta just kept on coming up. And I got excited because, it's something I didn't see anybody name their lipsticks that. And, it's just as as anything that you develop in product lines, you just see what else is out there. And we just really wanted to make sure that the names stood out, and their names of, several different, we have another collection coming out, and it's going to stay in that same thread. And it's fun, it's creating makeup and putting on makeup and being theatrical, or just wearing a classic red lip. Makeup should be all about having fun and feeling beautiful.
Yes. And these women are all beautiful women in your life and in your life and yourself. I mean, I just think that we all need to stop talking about just like a red or a pink or a rose. And I love that you named it after women in your life, and that's phenomenal. So what about the other shades? You're bringing in shimmer and a little bit of other different elements. Your
Yeah,
theatrical.
that's a great question. So our newest product is called Glare Gloss. It's 4 shades and it's all based on the music industry. So there's Scent, which is like a beautiful cherry red that anyone can wear, Cyber, Goth Wave, and Dark Wave. And they are just based on music genres that we're really inspired.
Tell me what genre.
And, you know, Goth Wave is all based on the goth, you know, the goth movement. And for us, you know, we're friends with everyone in the music community of New York. Okay. You know, our friends, the Red Party is a very, very, the one standing party that's been happening for over 20 plus years. They're very good friends of ours. And, you know, we're inspired to go to their parties. You know, Synth was named after Syntheside. It's another party that we go to, and a lot of people, and that's done by my friend Andy, and her name is Andy 80s, and she has beautiful like blonde hair. And, you know, it's all very rooted in the music scene and the people that inspire us. You know, when you go to the Red Party, people spend time putting their makeup on. It's 5 hours in the makeup chair, and then we're able to dance. You know, and the same, you know, goes for, you know, the Syntheside parties. For us, it was just giving back to the community, that people could open up their bag and lipstick and feel comfortable about what they're putting on, and just having a story. I think having a story with any product that you put out and being integral to yourself and your brand is super important. Yes. And we just wanted to, you know, we like to have fun naming the names, and it's just something that it just kept on coming up. I'm like, okay, we have the glare. How do you dare to glare? Your glare gloss, you know?
I love that.
And that's just a fun thing that, you know, as we grow with a lot of the shades of the product range, we always are inspired by the people that are around us and that are our friends.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, we don't want to just name it red and pink and yellow and orange, and that's just boring, and that's not you. And you needed to do something different. You're creating a line where it's a market that is saturated, and you've exploded. I mean, your brand has exploded in 4 years. It was March 2017, I believe. So you've just passed your 4th year anniversary. So congratulations to that. So you're talking about like getting something out of your makeup bag. Is there something when you travel, or you know, what do you never leave home without?
Oh, that's a good question. I never leave home without my eyeliner. I always have a flick on.
Love.
So my favorite liner, which is our precision cream liner that we made. Being a makeup artist, my makeup bag is really small. Like I don't like to have a ton of product. And something that's really fun about our eyeliner has a built-in brush in the component. So, and for me, I was just like, oh my gosh, I love to do my makeup in the car. You know, my everyday makeup is this. You know, a lot of people think that I wear, you know, the full-on face, and you know, no, I would love to, but it takes a long time, and I don't know if I can.
So you don't have 7 hours every morning
before I go to work. And you know, that's the one product that I love, you know, to use every single day. But I travel quite a bit, and you know, I'm a skincare junkie. I've been working on a lot of skincare products for us. You know, I'm almost there with one of them, but you know, it's something that, you know, being, you know, women that travel, and you know, I'm a product junkie. You know, a lot of people ask me, is like LoveCraftBeauty the only brand that I use? I'm like, if I would take you on a tour in my office, I have like 5 huge suitcases filled with makeup. You know, when I travel and I go to work, I was on a W magazine shoot yesterday. My suitcase weighs 95 pounds. So like a lot of people don't understand or fathom that, but I used
95
to have
pounds.
Is
that on a trolley?
It's on a big rolling suitcase. And I have every single brand in there. That's how much I love makeup. And everybody has their own touch. You know, they have their own feel of, you know, packaging and product. And I'm like, I love it. I'm like, I can't get enough of it. So, you know,
You're so passionate about it.
I can talk about it all the time.
Oozes out of you. I love it.
And that's the fun part about being a makeup artist in the industry, is not only being a supportive, you know, individual for the makeup movement, is just using everybody else's brands too. For me, I'm all about a community. And I think, you know, I would never be here if it wasn't for, you know, all the products that I like to use. And, you know, especially having my own brand, that's something that we really strive to be, you know, try to create different product that's not out there. You know, a lot of people ask me why I haven't done foundation yet. I'm like, I have an amazing one that I always use. You know, there's two actually. I love the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer, and I love MAC Cosmetics HD Full Coverage Collection. Like, I love that stuff. So for me, I'm trying to make that happy medium, you know, for us, you know,
Yes.
and that's a really important part to be, you know, in consideration of other brands. And for us, I just feel that once we make that, you know, certain type of formula, it's going to be different from everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that you were with NARS for quite a long time as well.
I
So
love the products.
yeah. And I mean, it was like Stila and NARS for like the longest time. You know, on every set that you went to, that's what they were, you know, editorial at every editorial shoot, or, you know, in the film set. And but there's, like when you said about the movement, about the makeup movement, there's so much space and there's so much room to celebrate everyone and not have anyone compete. You know, it's everyone can win. There's something for everybody. Just like, you know, this glitter lotion, maybe, you know, someone might not want glitter lotion. Someone might not want, you know, a particular a product or wear foundation. They wear a tinted moisturizer. And so the fact that you love using everyone's brands and everyone's creativeness just to make your own, I think that's phenomenal. That's so amazing.
And I think it's just, you know, again, I have fun with it. And you know, and especially my experience working at NARS, I think Francois NARS is such an incredible makeup artist. You know, he is such a pioneer in this business. And the range that he has is phenomenal. And, you know, I do a lot of different advertising for a lot of different brands. And I love each component of being able to do that still. And I love that my brands that I still work with don't look at my brand and think, oh my gosh, you know, she's going to copy my thing. No. You know, I make sure, you know, that we don't, you know, because I have a lot of integrity and a lot of respect for all the brands that I work for. And I think that's something on why I keep getting the calls back. And the exciting thing that I do get very excited about creating content and being a professional makeup artist. It's in my veins, and I still get very excited to go. You know, a lot of people, you still get nervous. I'm like, sometimes I get more excited. You know, I don't really go into my shoots with like a premeditative idea that I'm going to have. You know, I think the best part about being a session stylist or a session makeup artist is that the minute that you walk into the door and see the model, see how the photographer is going to light the light, talk to the fashion stylist about the clothes, and then the manicurist and the hairstylist, and, you know, and
it's a team.
And it's a team effort. And, you know, I love that about my job.
Yeah. You love being on set?
I do.
Yes. And talk to me about the different editorial components of your work and who you've been, you know, so thrilled to work with. And I mean, obviously WWD, you've worked with Vogue and Bazaar. I mean, the list goes on.
It's a question that I always have the excitement about, because I've worked with some really amazing people that believe in me, and especially as my journey in the extreme makeup, you know, I did a good 20 years of doing something really good and beautiful natural makeup. And I think during quarantine, people were looking at me and being like, oh my gosh, you do full on movie makeup or extreme makeup. And, you know, I'm always constantly pushing myself. And I love that people look at me and know that I can still do a natural makeup and a natural face and still have my heart in LoveCraftBeauty, of doing, you know, transforming my face, and my business partner and I doing the collections that we do for our brand. But to go back to your question, you know, like two people come to mind that have really influenced me throughout my career. Craig McDean is someone that I work with on, you know, a constant basis. He's one of the biggest fashion photographers. He's from England. He's such a technical person with light. He makes you a better makeup artist. Okay. I think technicians, you know, that really mess around with light, and you really have to know what you're doing and really know how to study an image. And I think that's really important. Annie Leibovitz is another amazing photographer that I work with quite a bit. You know, she taught me on how, you know, the difference in portraiture lighting and theatrical lighting. it just makes you look at the entire process. I'm not just looking at the face and being a makeup artist. I'm looking at a team player and making the image. And I think that's what a lot of people sometimes don't realize, that how you get that legendary photograph or image is being a team player and considering all aspects. I don't look into something and be like, I'm going to do this crazy, makeup application so I stand out. Sometimes that is just the worst way that you could go into anything. I like to be and look and the team player and look at everything. And that's when you get those beautiful moments, those happy moments of photography.
Yeah.
In a world that, magazines and everything has gone quite digital, I still get very excited to do editorial and shoots. And I think it's something, again, and another thing that like it's in my veins of continuing to do it, because it's something that inspires me.
Well, you're inspiring me because I love magazines and I have stacks and I keep them. I subscribe to every single one that I can and save them to this day. Actually, I have storage of back copies from decades, but
Amazing.
I
They're
miss
heavy.
they are heavy to move, but I'm not as heavy as your 95-pound trolley makeup
That's
bag
true.
that you take to all of your stuff. But I mean, the process of flipping, and then you do a tear sheet maybe, and you're like, I want to give that a shot, or whether it's fashion or makeup and beauty, and you're like, how do I recreate that? How do I make it my own? And just the process of the flip, like whatever happened to sitting on the porch or the patio or and flipping through a magazine or the subway, like where
Right.
that's everyone's like on their phones
I completely agree.
and you can't even see the makeup barely, there's that big magazine. You just want that. I don't know. I wish we could go back to that. Everything has changed so much.
It's so true, Teri. I mean, I remember going on vacation and like my suitcase would weigh like an extra 30 pounds because I had all fashion magazines just to sit by the pool and be like not looking at them until I get to the pool. I'm still that person. And I agree with you. I still, subscribe to a lot of the magazines and I still like to see my stuff in print and I don't want to see it on the screen. I love to see on how, a photograph was printed on a piece of paper and just holding that physical thing. I'm also someone that doesn't have a Kindle. I like to buy the book.
Exactly. You're a tangible creature.
Yeah.
You want to hold it. You want to absorb it and you feel it so much better than just looking at it at a screen. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe it's my generation, but I just, I'm done with my phone half the time through the day. I'm just like, give me something to hold and that's pretty. And, even the ads are pretty sometimes. I mean, you just want to I don't know. There's something to be said about, I don't want to lose the print. I don't want it to go away.
There's something that I want to add to that because I remember being 17 in New Orleans and my entire room, my mother and father killed me. They were like, oh my God. But I literally posted like every square inch of my bedroom as a teenager was Vogue covers, advertisements. And the happy part of me as I grew as a makeup artist in this industry, now I've probably worked with almost everybody that was on my wall. And that to me, being that young Southern girl being like, oh my gosh, I only wish that I could do this sort of thing. That's why I always I tell everyone, don't give up on your dream. Like just just try whatever you need to do. And I think that's the thing that with social media, you're able to really create a character of yourself. You have the controls. Before social media, we never had anything. It was the magazines that would write things about us. And, you didn't really have the attachment to a community. And that's what the golden age of technology has done for us. We met on Clubhouse, and that was a fun thing of doing that as well. So, I think just keep striving.
I know. Well, I want to finish up about a little bit about how we can better champion women in this generation and how we can support and celebrate and inspire others. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm full of excitement. I'm like, I'm going to go home tonight, and instead of doing all the 20 things that I'm going to do, I'm going to go take that stack of magazines and I'm going to flip through some and take the time to do that. And your energy is like coming through on this Zoom call. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I want to be in Francelle's world. I don't know if I could sit there for 7 hours and have that patience, but let's talk about how we can better champion women and better celebrate and inspire them in 2021.
I mean, for me, what that means is just always being there for people. I think we are in a time where there's a lot. So with all the magic of social media, there's also downfalls of someone, you leave yourself open for review, and that's not always easy, to talk about. And you put a beautiful picture of something that you think is beautiful and someone leaves you a weird comment, or, something that it resonates with me when you say, how can we champion and better women, and give them advice is just to be strong and to be there for one another and not to have too much judgment. I think everybody loves to judge and, I don't like the shoes she's wearing. I don't like this. We live in this kind of culture of social media and reality, especially a lot of the reality televisions are focused on negativity and what you can get out of people to be negative on film. I like to be the positive. I like to be that infectious person of being like, oh my gosh, if you want to wear that blue lipstick, go for it, wear it. Don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid just because someone else thinks that it's not right, but you feel that it's right for you, or someone else thinks that it's wrong, you feel that it's right. And just to again try and be your strongest self and don't let anyone put you down. I know that sounds quite generic, but there's so many conversations that I have with our community of being like, wow, you really liked me, or I can't believe that you put a comment on my Instagram when I only have 200 followers. It's not about that. It's just really, saying like, hey, we're watching what you're doing and we love what you're doing and we're here for you.
And that connection and that honest, authentic connection. And so
100%.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. I think we need a part 2 because I feel like I could talk to you for another half an hour. That's for darn sure. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and your story. And I'm so excited for what's coming for LoveCraftBeauty and everything that you're doing. And I mean, your career is flying. It's just exceptional. And I'm championing you from behind the screen and we'll continue to do so as always. And let's do a part 2 soon.
For sure. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of new episodes. To learn more about the Stellar Girl movement, please visit us at STELLARGIRL.com.